Now, my people, this is a serious topic today. It's about the illusion with this system that is called government and how such an elite force, which is a small minority of people, control majority of the people. And the reason for that is because of lack of knowledge, lack of thy self-worth, and knowing what thy value is, and historical facts, and knowing where you're coming from and who you be. Because as indigenous descendants from where we came from, way before slavery, we only know love and togetherness. So about these corruption that is called crime element, that is called criminal elements that arise, they all are product of a system that evolves from a government, state, or society. Okay? In other words, the real true criminal are the governments and the system that is designed, and the police and the soldiers. They are the criminals. When they want to justify the illegal or the corrupt system, they pass law, and I tell you, it's the law of the land. And the law of the land is the most wicked and corrupt. For instance, let me draw one for you, like the marijuana farmers who use the marijuana for the livelihood and for the survival, and the system deem it as something deadly, some chemical, some drugs. That's how they have to classify it to make it so-called illegal and to justify the corrupted acts. Okay? Where they rob the innocent man, them who go in the mountain and plant the marijuana, tell it's against their law. Right? Now that they're coming out now, they realize how corrupt they was. Then they come and say they're going to legalize it for medicinal purposes and make it valuable with a license for certain ones to sell and prescribe and certain amount for you to keep. You see how hypocritical it is? You know what I mean? And a criminal is classified in many different ways. Whether you've been a convict in the court of law for a simple misdemeanor like a so-called dirty word which they got in these third world islands as against the law to so-called curse, you know, which is a slave shit thing. You know, these systems deem you as a criminal. Well, a man might express in himself about something negative that's going on, which could be that someone tried to violate a kid or an elder, and what these people do in defending their rights of expression, a man might say, you know, use so-called F word or whatever. You know what I mean? And if a so-called police of the law hear you, they will deem it as against the law and try to charge you in these Caribbean islands, because they're slave mentality and slave-minded, and it's third world. You know, means you're last, you're behind everything. So they use these things to make money. It's all about business, because everything that they charge you for, they have to collect and make a profit off of. It's a system. So they design everything for a profit. So when they charge you for a dirty word, they put you in the court of law and tell you you're guilty and charge you a fine. If you don't put a fine, you go to jail for a month. So that's the corruption of these corrupted slave system. Now, how did the slave system come about? How did these governments come about? It came from slavery. So a criminal is convicted of murder, right? And he's sentenced to 25 years or life in prison. And upon that, he's classified as a menace, a criminal, some person who that they would classify as a bad person. And they would teach the children and everybody within the school sector and everywhere, oh, that guy's a bad person, he's a murderer. Now, how could a system that rob, rape, pilgrimage, slaughtered our ancestors, do so much wickedness in life to establish the self, and that is called a government today? How could it ever be bad? And it came from something. How could it ever be good? And it came from something bad. It came from rob. It came from raping our foremothers and forefathers, burn them on crosses, slaughters us, you know what I mean, commit genocides to capture our land and our resources, denationalize us, means taking our name and giving us a name that they make up a corporation that is presently called a government and a state to have jurisdiction over the common people, which is called the masses. For them, they call them the masses, you know, means that they're nothing, they're no good, you know what I mean, and they're bonds and stock, you know, artificial people, so that they could take your land and your resources and have you under the jurisdiction. Now, brothers and sisters, that's why I go and take my declaration so I could be free and I don't be under no slave system, because that is slavery, and go back to my ancestors' cultures, heritage, and live the conscious life, eat the natural food, left out the poison. You don't need the pharmacy, you don't need the doctor, you don't need, we have to cut them out completely. We don't need the jobs, we don't need the work, we don't need the employment. When the fools them look around and say, oh, there's only 3 jobs to do, either you'll be a nurse or you'll be a police. You know what I mean? you go and work on the street to clean the garbage. You have to be fools. You don't need them in the system. Many way of making yourself valuable and employment of your own by creating other ways of employment. You know, using whatever mind you have and whatever skill you can do and create your own. You don't need them. When you have to make them think you need them, they look at you as if you're, you know what I mean, they have you by the balls. They have you. And why is such a little, in this island where I'm from, which is Uromi, which is slave name is St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This island is only controlled by 2,000 police and the little poly tricksters. Okay? And you have 120,000 people here. Yo, look at how these elites, because they're set up by the Illuminatis, all government and systems are set up by the largest Illuminatis. As a matter of fact, how did they came about? They came from something bad, so something bad could never be good. And these systems now, a small majority of people control the majority. You know what I mean? A small minority control the majority, which is very, very silly and stupid. And my brothers and sisters need to wake out of this delusion and stop making these people think for them and control them. You know? Everything in the system is a criminal. When all criminal elements arise from them, because in our false life living before these systems come about, we don't rob, we don't kill, we don't go about with such negative, we don't have homosexual, we don't have none of these in our indigenous groups. We only know love, togetherness. We only share and correspond in each other, help each other, and help to revive and heal each other off the natural herbs of the earth. We don't use doctors, drugs, and pharmacy. We don't use the poisonous and chemical food, nor the processed food. We eat from the natural earth. We drink the pure natural water. Our water don't have chlorine in it. This is the modern system, because everything is a profit. So they got to use their way to try to rob and exploit the people. The water is coming off of our land, our indigenous land, and they have it in the industrial process with the water catch pipes, the tanks, and they're selling it to the common people for prices per gallon. Now you have the electrical system too. They use various different type of electrical systems. They use the water, where they use the motor to turn it over, and they create electrical currents. They use the wind, and they use the diesel or the gasoline fuel. Well, everything comes from our earth. And all the islands where they occupy, which is called government and state, is all our ancestors, indigenous people land that they take up and occupy and build the state. Every state evolved from slavery, which is the land and the resources of the indigenous people. So this is no denial. So you people better stop promoting and letting this illegal, corrupted system strive as the way they're striving. We need to come together and destroy these evil systems. No criminal really is guilty of the element of destruction. The only guilt I give them is like 10%. I don't give them 100% guilty, because they don't know what they are doing. They're unaware of what they're into, because they don't have the knowledge to know the self-worth and who they are and where they're coming from. If one know thyself and know who are they and where they're coming from, they would be like me. They wouldn't be ignorant. They wouldn't look to kill their brothers. They wouldn't rob and thief. They would be humble. They would create their own employment, and they would go forward in a very righteous and productive way, not deeming, nor belittling, nor pulling down each other as the system done. Now they go about on the TV. What I saw yesterday in a recording that was sent on Facebook is that 3 police officers trying to pull a man out of an orange van in Kingston, St. Vincent, which is Uromi. The indigenous name is Uromi. And that's very how corrupt. That's to show you how indoctrinated and how corrupt these people are, right? And they're trying to force this man to obey the corporate laws, to bring in money to the corporate system in the form of tax for whatever violation in the traffic laws that they claim he violate. But the level of what they're doing and how they do it is to show you how indoctrinated and how they are so programmed. These people are robots. They're so wicked to their own kind. They are product of the system, product of the slave masters who create these systems. Look at how they come. And they are my own melanated brothers and sisters who is fighting their own brothers down. And I have to stress to say, because, yo, the people them are in a state of delusion. You know what I mean? Mind program, controlling with religion, politics, and all these things that's set to divide, rule, and conquer the people. And I'm trying to get this message across in so many different ways so that my brothers and them would realize that these systems are what we need to trample right now. First of all, do the declaration.